This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
All right, Judas Priest about to kick off their 50 heavy metal tour, 50 heavy metal years tour, I should say, and it's coming to Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum October 18th. All the info, judaspriest.com. A very good friend of the show and this station, the metal god himself, Rob Halford of Judas Priest, joins us. And Rob, first things first, I know that Richie had a second heart procedure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just want to see how he's doing right now.
Thank you for asking. Yeah, he's doing great. In fact, just before we connected, we texting each other like crazy because we're figuring out set lists and all that other kind of stuff. He's on top of the world. He's so excited that he got through the second procedure, which was remarkable because he knew as we went out on the European leg, which we just finished a few weeks ago, that he had to go back from the European leg and 2 or 3 days later go through another open heart surgery.
Wow.
So what this was to clear up some plaque and stuff around some valves that they put in.
Yeah, the plaque is like the scary stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. He has a metal heart now. If you get close to it, you can hear it ticking. He's a miracle man, and we're so happy for him. But yeah, he's good. He's feeling great. He's raring to go. And yeah, here we go on what'll be the final leg of the 50th heavy metal year celebration, because we're kind of moving to 52 now, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
know, that and the other,
right?
But we're so happy to be coming back out with our buddies Queensryche. Got a brand new set list. If you saw us last time, you want to see us again, we've got a whole new bunch of stuff happening because we're going to focus a little bit more on the Screaming for Vengeance album, which also is in its 40th anniversary this year, I believe.
Amazing. Fantastic. Glenn Tipton, I got to ask about him. How is he doing?
Glenn's good. Yeah. He came out and did some European shows, 1 or 2 festivals, and the crowd goes nuts when he shows up on stage. Another guy that's, you know, facing challenges in his life. But I've always said this is part of who we are in the metal community. You know, we surround each other with love, and it helps push us through these things that we have to face in life. So he's good, and I'll send the Q's metal love to him next time I speak to him.
Oh, absolutely. Please do
Yeah.
that. Celebrating the band's 50th anniversary on this tour. Now, is this the first like full-on Priest tour since the pandemic? Right? I mean,
yeah. Well, as far as you know, a world trek, yeah, because we started. This is the third leg of the third North American leg, because we've already been through the country twice. It just goes to show, you know, how strong metal is here in the United States. It always has been, but since the pandemic, everybody's going, oh my God, now I can go see my favorite band. You know, everybody's roaring to venues to see their favorite metal band or whatever performing live. So there's a lot of good feelings. There's a lot of reconnecting going on that we've all missed through that horrible pandemic.
You know, there's a survey that came out, and we spoke about it on the morning show, and I would just love to get your thoughts on this survey. That the survey said, you know, the stereotypical sort of rock and roll story is skinny, ugly guy, teenager, can't get girls or can't get boys or whatever, you know, is very unpopular, picks up a guitar, puts a cigarette in his mouth. All of a sudden he has 5 dates by the end of the week. Now you compare that to, and they were very specific in this survey. They said heavy metal guitar players don't do this to get women. They do this to impress other heavy metal shredders. Your thoughts?
You know, my mind for some unknown reason goes to KK instantly, because he said, I always wanted to be a real famous guitar player because I get all the chicks that that are out there. Cancel culture, of course, that was back in the day,
right?
I think it's a fun survey. You know, whether you want to put any merit into it as far as uh, being legit or not is up to everybody's definition. But
I think there's some
hey,
truth to it.
yeah,
Like if you're a really good guitar
yeah,
player, you want, Steve Vai and people like that to go crazy about you, right? I
I
mean,
would, yes, I would say that this is what it is encourages us in our world, in the world of metal bands, rock bands, whatever. There's always this tremendous admiration and inspiration that we gain from each other's performances. And so I guess guitar players are no different to singers. As we're talking today, it's Brian's 75th birthday.
right, Brian Johnson,
ACDC.
yeah.
Yeah, how great is that, man? You know, and
How are you, me son? How are you, me son?
he's an amazing man, such a beautiful guy.
Love him.
And for me as a fellow singer, I have nothing but admiration for his style. Brian really carved out a very unique performance with his voice. No one else can sing like Brian Johnson. He nailed it, you know. And so I admire him for what he does with his vocal chops. And so it goes, you know, singers, drummers, bass players, guitar players. It's all good.
It's nice to get a pat on the back, right? And a little
Yeah, of
admiration
course it
from
is.
your fellow, partners in crime, you know?
It's encouraging. It's no different to the way that, you know, NBA players have their favorite player, football, whatever it is. It's what we do in life, this whole team experience and kind of supporting each other and urging each other to, you know, get the best out of the moments.
Right. There's a 10-year-old boy that still lives in all of us, right? I mean,
Never grow up, man. Never grow up, you know. Yeah.
we last spoke with your fantastic memoir, Confess. And if nobody listening to this has Rob Halford's memoir called Confess, you must go out and get it right now. It is absolutely fantastic. And it'll be a big night for you and the whole band at the Microsoft Theater in LA, November 5th, where Priest finally will get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the musical excellence category. So first, where were you, Rob, when you got that call?
Oh, I was here in Phoenix at the house, and you know, my phone started to light up like they do for everybody, whether it's this or the Academy Awards or whatever celebration. It's a celebration. It's a lot of things. It's affirmation. It's validation. It's a lot of cool things. But I was buzzed. You know, I was buzzing. This is so great. This is so great for Priest because if any band deserves it, it's Priest, and I'm talking now as a fan as well as the singer of the band. And also, as I've said countless times, it's for our metal maniacs throughout the United States and the rest of the world because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is this great institution that has a lot of people looking in at it for what it does and what it represents. So for Priest, for metal, for our metal maniacs, it was a big window. Still is, especially as we come to the induction ceremony in November.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I did read that pretty much everyone in the band, past and present, will be there and that the band will perform. Give us the details.
Well, we're going to be performing. Yeah, we haven't ironed out all the kinks yet. It's still a work in progress, and I think that's the same for all of the great talent that's going to be there on the night. You know, there's a lot of questions and thinking and wishes and desires. I think that's what makes the event itself extraordinary. There's a tremendous amount of curiosity and adventure with the whole deal. I'm just thrilled that this extraordinary variety of musical talent is going to be presented and performing
I want to
on
ask
that
you
night.
about
You know,
that. I'm just going to throw out a few names that
yeah,
happening
go
that
ahead.
same night.
Yeah,
Eurythmics, Duran Duran, Pat
yes,
Benatar, Dolly
yes,
Parton, Lionel Richie,
yes.
Carly Simon, Jimmy Iovine. Did you ever
Wow.
cross paths with any of these people over the years in any sort of capacity?
Jimmy, yes. Yes. Where did I see Jimmy? I did something with Trent many years ago, and he had a record label called Nothing Records that Jimmy
Yeah.
was the main guy for. And so we had a brief conversation about this, that, and the other. I mean, the guy's a legend.
Yeah.
But so I do know Jimmy in that respect. I have nothing but admiration for what he's done in his world. I love it when the ladies come through, you know. I'm a massive
Carly,
Carly Simon
Annie
fan.
Lennox,
Bet, is Bette Midler in?
Pat Panadar, Dolly
Pat.
Parton.
Yeah, you know, just talking briefly about what Pat was doing as a rock musician. She was one of these game-changing artists, much like Annie, and I have a slightly closer relationship to Annie because going all the way back to the Tourists before the Eurythmics.
Oh wow!
We were together within the same management company at the time called Anna Carter Music in London, and on the roster there was Priest, there was the Tourists, and there was Bebop Deluxe.
Oh, I
Bebop
remember that name.
Deluxe.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Bill, what's his name, the guitar player. He was a phenomenal guitar player, songwriter. I don't know whatever happened to that guy, but so there's a slightly closer connection to Annie Lennox in that respect. But it's going to be a great night. I've got to have my selfie with Dolly.
Oh my
So I'm
God,
looking
yeah.
forward
I
to,
mean, what a
you
legend,
know,
right?
I
Just the
think
best.
she's going to light up the room regardless of everybody else. It's like, oh my God, there's Dolly Parton, you know.
Right.
When you consider what that lady has done as a trailblazer, and this is kind of bittersweet because we lost Tammy Wynette yesterday.
Loretta
And
Lynn,
I have
Loretta Lynn, yeah.
thank you so much,
Yeah.
Loretta Lynn, and I have Loretta Lynn's one of her greatest hits albums on my phone, The Pill, which is a highly controversial song, which when she and her husband were going through all the radio stations in and around Tennessee at the time, they refused to play it because of the subject matter, you know. But it still got to number 4 in the country charts. That's how strong that lady's work was. So much like these other great talents, all of them have a significant thing to offer besides their music in terms of what they've done for American culture and everything else. So yeah, give me my Dolly selfie and I'll be happy. Yeah, happy enough with God.
Have you even attempted to write a speech yet, or have you made any notes or anything?
Man. No, I'm gonna wing it. Because
Nothing
I mean,
inside in the inside pocket.
no,
Nothing,
you and I, you and I have known each other forever. Once these lips start flapping, there'll be a hook that comes out on the side, pulls him off. Okay, stop
I
flapping your
can't
lips.
wait. I can't wait to see your speech, man. I am really looking forward to that. Rob Halford is with us, Judas Priest, on the 50 Heavy Metal Years Tour. They're coming to Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum October 18th. You can get all the info at judaspriest.com. I hear that a new Priest album is very close to being completed.
It is close, yeah. All the writing's done. The bulk of the recording is done. I've still got to put my vocal tracks down. So in essence, it's done, which is a great feeling because, again, that really points us to the metal future. Everything that we've done in Priest over the last 50-odd years has been driven by the latest music that we're making. So this is no exception, you know. We'll finish this 50th anniversary celebration down in Sao Paulo, Brazil on December the 18th.
Oh, beautiful.
And that'll be this year done. And then next year we're kicking off with our good friend RZ in the UK to do some shows with him and Europe. And then a few other bits and pieces we've got going on in Europe. And then we stop and then we plan the next release sequence for the next Priest album.
There is a show on Netflix called Metal Lords that you are in, and it is described like this. Metal Lords is a 2022 American teen comedy drama, film written by D.B. Weiss, directed by Peter Sullett. Its story follows two high school best friends and metal music lovers, Hunter and Kevin, who set out to start a metal band against societal norms. And you are in this. You've acted before in various things. So tell us your role and how the whole experience was and or is.
It's a great story because D.B. Weiss contacted me, which was it's the Game of Thrones guy, and he's a hardcore metalhead, and he'd had this story going on in his mind ever since he was at college, and he loves metal, and he always had the script and the idea forever. It took forever to get the whole thing to become the real deal. But he sent me the script, and I just went for it right away because it's such a sweet, powerful movie, and it has a lot of context for the time that it was made, much like Stranger Things, that I'm a massive fan of, and I just like this idea of us all kind of being around the hot tub and so on. So you know, the friction with the dad and the love side of the relationships that we all go through, and his real desire to be a musician. I could definitely see myself in this film through what the main character himself experiences. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. My Metal Lord's beanie behind me. Look.
Metal Lords, you can watch that, and you can see Rob in it. It's on Netflix, Metal Lords. You can check that out. And once again, Rob Halford from Judas Priest is with us. They are on the 50 Heavy Metal Years tour, which is coming to Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum October 18th. All the info, judaspriest.com. Rob, we love you here in New York at Q1043. Hopefully next time through, you come to the studio again. And we'll hang out and we'll talk and we'll have a good time. And in the meantime, please stay healthy and safe, and all our best to Glenn and Richie and the whole band, and kick ass, man. You guys are the best, and congratulations in advance for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I had a blast. Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks, buddy. Thank you, Q104. I love your station. I've been in that building so many times. I've sat in the corner out there behind you. I can see my seat. So I'll get my butt in there next time I'm in your part of the world. Hey, thanks for everything that you do at Q104 for rock and metal. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the road.
All right, man. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Jonathan. All right. Bye-bye now.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.